Title: Beneath the Silent Deep. Prologue. Of the incident at Devil's Ridge, Lake Superior, 2017, Ellie Cruz had always been drawn to the water. It was in her blood. Her grandfather, a Filipino pearl diver, had whispered stories of glowing creatures that trailed his boat at night, their bioluminescent tendrils brushing the hull like curious fingers. But on the frigid autumn night, she anchored her research vessel near Devil's Ridge. Ellie realized the stories were pale reflections of a truth far stranger. The anomaly began with a sound, a low, resonant hum that vibrated in her molars. Her equipment flickered, GPS coordinates scrambled, sonar screens dissolving into static. Then the lake erupted, not in waves but in light. A jagged ring of electric blue pulsed beneath the surface, illuminating the skeletal remains of a 19th century schooner she'd been documenting. Ellie grabbed her camera, but the lens fogged with condensation, the display glitching as she filmed. That's when she saw it, a shadow sleek and angular, moving impossibly fast. It sliced through the water without a wake, its edges shimmering like heat haze. For a heartbeat, it paused tilted, as if observing her. Then it vanished, leaving only a fading ripple of light. By dawn, Ellie's photos were pixelated smears, her voice memos warped into garbled tones. The Coast Guard dismissed her as a sleep-deprived thrill-seeker, but she knew what she'd seen. Something that defied physics. Something alive. The whistleblower's gambit, Washington, D.C. March 2024, Representative Tim Burchett's press conference should have been a footnote. Another crackpot politician ranting about UFOs. But when he slammed a classified folder on the podium, his voice trembling with rage, the room froze. "You want transparency," he barked, jabbing a finger at the Pentagon's report. "Then explain why a U.S. admiral watched a craft dive at 500 knots into the Puerto Rico Trench. Explain Nereus." The room erupted. Reporters shouted over each other, but it was former Congressman Matt Gaetz, lounging in the back with a smirk, who dropped the match. Ask the families of the Nereus crew what they think about mechanical failure. The sub's disappearance in 2021 had been buried, its final transmission redacted to a single line. "It's not Russian. It's not." Ellie watched the clip in her cramped Brooklyn apartment, her rescue mutt, Nicola, growling at the screen. She'd spent 7 years chasing whispers. Fishermen in Norway who swore their nets had been cut by something with claws. Oil rig workers in the Gulf of Mexico reporting glowing orbs that dove into the seabed. But 500 knots underwater? That number matched her own calculations from Devil's Ridge. She opened her laptop, typing until sunrise. The numbers station Nevada Desert, 2023, Luis Morse. Ramirez had been chasing ghosts since he was 12. His abuela's radio, a hulking Cold War relic, had picked up a number station one sleepless night, a woman's voice reciting 416-23-42 in looping Spanish. But station AM 37 wasn't like the others. It broadcasted every 17 days at 3:33 a.m. Its frequency bleeding through every jammer Lewis tried. The voice was almost human, almost. Syllables stretched like taffy, vowels curdling into guttural clicks. Luis ran the audio through a spectrogram and found a pattern, seismic pulses mapped to coordinates in the Atlantic. When he cross-referenced them with Navy sonar logs, they overlapped with the Nereus's last known position. He posted his findings on a conspiracy forum at 4 a.m. By noon, 2 men in black Ford Expeditions were idling outside his trailer park. Luis hid the backup drive in his abuela's pozole pot, but they took everything else, his servers, his notebooks, even the radio. That night, AM 37 went silent. The Admiral's Ghost, Port Clyde, Maine. 2024, Admiral James Corvinus's cottage smelled of salt and bourbon. Ellie found him on the porch, gutting mackerel with a combat knife. "You'll get us both killed," he grumbled, but his eyes betrayed a desperate need to be believed. In 2019, his destroyer had been tracking a Chinese sub near the Mariana Trench when the sonar lit up with a massive structure. "Like a damn city down there," he said. "Walls shifted shape, reacting to our scans. Then it bloomed, a hatch. Our systems went dark, and that's when it came out." He described a craft smooth as a bullet, darting around their hull faster than their cameras could track. "We tried to follow. Then the screaming started." "Screaming?" Ellie pressed. "Over the hydrophones." Not human, not animal, like feedback, but organized, as if it was laughing. He gave her a USB drive stamped eyes only, its contents a thermal scan of the structure. The walls glowed vermilion, veins of light thrumming rhythmically. "They're not building down there," he whispered. "They're growing." That night, Ellie woke to the crunch of gravel outside her motel. She fled through a bathroom window as figures in black ransacked her room. The drive was gone. The dive Puerto Rico Trench, present day, the Ariel was a rusted hulk, its crew a ragtag squad of true believers. Virgil, a conspiracy YouTuber with a Navy SEAL tattoo he'd never earned. Priya, an ex-MIT oceanographer fired for ethical breaches. And DJ, a tech bro funding the trip with crypto gains. "We're either going to win a Pulitzer or die viral," he joked, adjusting the lighter drone. At 2,000 meters, the submersible's lights dimmed. Priya cursed as the temperature spiked. "It's not a thermal vent, it's artificial." The sonar painted a labyrinth of towering spires, their surfaces glistening with mucus-like sheen. "It's a colony," Priya whispered. "Like coral, but computational. Look at the patterning." The sub's camera caught movement, a swarm of eel-like machines darting through the spires, their bodies fluid, almost gelatinous. One veered toward them, a single black orb at its front pulsating. "It's scanning us," Priya said. The orb flashed. Then darkness. When power returned, the spire walls had reconfigured, sealing the sub in a glowing hexagonal chamber. "It's guiding us," Priya said. A low hum reverberated through the hull, resolving into a voice or the illusion of one inside their skulls. DJ screamed, the sub lurched, thrown backward by an invisible force. They surfaced to a storm, the Ariel's deck scarred by claw-like gashes. Virgil's camera footage showed only static, but Ellie's notebook had a single new sentence, scrawled in her own handwriting. "They were here first." The revelation Ellie's inbox pinged at 3:33 a.m. Email from Kraken 1943, containing a video dated November 12, 1965. Grainy footage showed Eisenhower standing in a domed chamber, walls writhing with bioluminescent tendrils. Across a table floated three figures, skeletal with translucent skin and bulbous eyes, their mouths replaced by slit-like vents. The audio was redacted, but the subtitle read, "Terms accepted." Phase 2 initiated. Burchett called her breathless. "They're not hiding UFOs, they're hiding a truce. We're lab rats in a preserve. The oceans, the poles, those are their zones." He'd received a dossier from a Pentagon defector, Project Kraken, a 1952 pact allowing limited human experimentation in exchange for technology. That's why the hearings go nowhere. We're not the ones in charge. If you're reading this, you felt it, the flicker of streetlights as you recount your UFO sighting, the nightmares of drowning, lungs filling with liquid light, the hum in your skull as you stand on a midnight shore. They've always been here, in the trenches, under the ice, in the blind spots of our maps. They're in the silence between radio stations, the glitches in your Zoom calls, the wrong number texts that read, "Stop looking." Check your spam folder. The water is watching.